This is the nice one.
Looking good. We came back earlier.
That was after he found out that he didn't really steal Christmas, but Christmas still came. He didn't look out all the time. But people were just as happy. Did anybody, then did he bring back their birthday? One of the big sleighs he had, with all the toys on the top.
They did really back there.
12,000 rides on the sleigh.
I guess so.
Tell me about that poor little doggy who had the solar sleigh. So did you
No,
miss
I had this big guy. Yes, yeah. Oh, the sleigh I got down.
Ooh.
It's like fly in the air. There's like a black and then there's the
Oh, gee.
It's like so up in the air. Yeah.
Oh, this little doggy had the tail. This is sleigh?
No, it's not on. But he's perfect too. And he's the best.
Oh.
Up in there.
Well, what made you change his mind about taking Christmas?
He's smarter.
Oh.
And he's really back there.
Well, how about the boy? What do you think of that? But everybody's toys and everything at Christmas dinner and Christmas tree and he put them all in bed and he stole them and took them way up to his house on the hill. And he was when he wanted to be nice to them, he said, I better take them all back.
Yeah, he got Christmas pictures.
Well, he's mine, but he took all the toys back.
He got unicorns there over here. They yellow. Children have to get their toys and the Christmas lights.
Yes, sir. We didn't have a little Christmas lights, did we?
And now what Christmas trees.
No, we haven't had anybody take that Christmas tree.
Sorry if I know the Christmas.
We just make another one, huh?
So they don't show it. And then they'll tell me my Christmas is back.
Yeah, because when we have the Christmas spirit, and it's out really, we just talk about it. We think, well, I'm going to come back so they have another Christmas.
And the Christmas back.
Yeah, the wonderful thing that he changed his mind. Oh, that's Got the end of the story, Ronnie? What was it you like to hear from her?
I like it.
What did you see from you there, son?
I saw Daddy.
Ronnie was describing the friendship that he made out with in Las Vegas from his home in Washington, D.C. How long have you been here in Vegas, Ronnie?
Now,
Good. And you're going to be here for Christmas, right?
on my radio now.
Yeah, dear.
On my radio for Christmas. Maybe summer I'll get the Christmas stuff that I will do. Everything. I don't know that.
You bet. We can put lots of Christmas stuff.
Better.
You just wait and see.
and doctor and football. I was down.
I'm just going to put up a big Christmas tree first, and then we'll put up my light.
But, there's one, so my sister, and my father. So I put that, because I told you to put that everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Mom put together a little, arts and crafts Christmas tree, out of paper strips, and a strip, and, she used the styrofoam ball to put the stickers to hold it up inside the base, and that's just what he was telling me about. And I was thinking Tom that Mom didn't make it, but Mommy, Sharon did, right? And it's very cute, too. What does it have on it? Does it have gold glitter on it, too?
Yeah, and pencil.
There's something beautiful on top of it. What is that?
That's a star.
Oh, it's fine. It's just beautiful.
That's what we made. Next time we have a spider star, there is a picture. Well, there is a star. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Cookies. Christmas cookies.
Oh, boy. I hear that you help your mom make Christmas cookies every year, right?
But do you have plastic food to make a nice Christmas food? Can you make food?
Because I have them at my house right now, but we could bring them up tomorrow, and we could make some more Christmas things.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like that. You like to decorate the Christmas cookies?
Okay. What toys on it? Then you just do eyes and stars.
What colors do you decorate cookies with? Is it different colors?
Sometimes there's decorations.
Oh, when I make cookies, I like anything with red and green.
I see that program.
Well, you're a lot bigger, right? Uh-oh.
Not a bad either.
Yeah, that's good.
I got one out in the woods with my bicycle. That's a good idea.
Yeah, as long as you don't get lost along the way.
Yes, but I don't come back there. After I go to those woods to kill the bears.
You don't have to kill them there, because you already did.
Like that, so a nice kind of thing.
Ronnie, what else do you want for Christmas besides the cinder bag?
And then extra sauce. It's plastic cinder bag.
Yeah, it's a plastic man that swings the back and it gets strong. That's the kind.
The guns on my so we got two that says the box.
Yeah, it's a little game there where the little mannequin, you know, and you spring them around, you know, and it's like cocking a lever, you know, something like that.
And then the piece of plastic. And what else? I like it.
And what did you forget something?
Well, I got my clown.
What have you been talking about for a month?
I was talking about
That sounds like a game, I think. Is it a game? Oh, I bet that would be fun. Yeah, talking rock and roll about that, huh?
And then I got stuff.
Yeah, because it's in the head, right? Those classes, have you seen those? I saw lots of them last year when I was in the thing. The farming I think they're over $10. I said, let me sit down to that microphone.
You know, I would have he's on 20 years old of that. And he put on the big one. And he was going to do it. So he felt very against these guys can't do that kind of stuff. So I said, all right, but you know, when you use this other method, they don't do it. I take off, I think in a certain way, I take off on the neighbors off the back lot there, hunting on that kind of thing, probably a little bit. Come across and just shooting behind him. Remember that other circle over there behind us? There's swampy water there.
Yeah.
You get across here, kind of close to the houses, and you have a couple of dogs, and the woman on the other circle of it had terrified to look out. I don't get it. And I can't fit in close to the orange. Out the window. And so I saw him coming across, so Randy and I had been out flying small airplane or something. So I cut it off for him. I only wasn't where to go, it's rather I got to meet him. So I told him, I said, look, I think that you should try on going. I can tell that I'm going to do it. Come find out later, he was one of the old-time residents of the country. Well, people done when you go to that. What kind of man? No, that's the town where it's not the town. You're going to see what's going to go.
This is February 31st. He's very important after his mom and daddy's house. We didn't start picking up the destiny, so the one we took care of is our tough cousin, David Stewart. And we're just visiting around here. We have visitors now, Lady and Donna, relations with things good. And then there's the girls over here.
Good guy. get down there and get out there, the second company, with all the music, of course, together. Yeah. But it's really hard to do. Of course, your house, you don't really worry about selling the house. You can always get your money out of the house if you ever did want to go somewhere. The guy didn't even think about a house buying that. That's the problem, basically. No, it's primarily. Yeah. And now they couldn't get in the age where, they couldn't be hired for any movie. Well, that's true, too, yeah. It's like selling into it's kind of trying to do it. Yeah. Just saying, I don't want to stay here. But they have quite a complex. Diversified government groups that does a lot of work for the Army and the Navy, the NATO Peace Bureau with the missile fine contract that the Army hot. They've done the radar, missile type radar, which is a kind of a hard missile array type of battery. Instead of moving okay? You have a fixed plate which by the electrical impulses stays as prime. Rather complicated system and also let more into the higher, make a better higher side type of system. And then make that too. Yeah. So we got quite a few good things going right now. We're working on another maybe 9 coming up. We're doing some talking right now. So we've got work ahead. Yeah. I know I think about that industry, I really, put my things in the day. I think it's a job, boy, these times, but that's been now work a year and a half. But you got people in the team, maybe you're crazy stuff. Maybe you're right. Yeah, right. With everybody. Yeah, now I do that. There's a few. Yeah, I heard that was, I was reading on he does it, it's 400,000 without a work. 150,000 in the match. Is that right? 150,000, not 50,000. So it's a matter of paper for us, we got over 200 applications, most of them are engineering at the job. On TV, the other night, when you're paid for something and you don't even know anything else, and then you don't have any benefits anywhere else, you go $15 an hour. $2 an hour, and you go to a board, and look at hundreds of you. Go back an hour. So set up a private setup. This is almost, first of all, it's a business all of the consultants, those that any kind of contact at all, those now they're trying to go out and go on and there's nothing else. And those that are open, they've got now, looking at available people. Some of the guys are out of work or asking got a consultant for people that are out of work. I got another educated one that's qualified. Those who just come in and have computerized and do like that, 24 hours they're done. So few around. We get a little time for it. We just got it. We had a friend who was drawing $25,000 a year. I just didn't know how much this would live. We got that all. But we didn't know how they can get along. $25,000 a year, he wouldn't put anything away. When he was laid off, he was now what you have to do is I forced myself prior to my I couldn't worry about $85 a week. I forced myself to an awful lot of part of it. I got had a thing from downtown around and I'm doing it now. But you know that's why I was ready to go for 6-8 months. No job. I knew that. But the point shows something you really need something. It sure does. And people are starting to realize that now. I was surprised how long you could go on these keep up with your I didn't see any major goals or anything like that. I was really surprised. But people have a habit, though, of when they have a fair amount of money, they spend it on this. I only do one job where, you know, and this is what they didn't want to, anybody was working in pension. They didn't want to touch in the first place. They didn't want to touch on it. So they figured that, you know, they hadn't had somebody who was not paid very much. They said, no, look, and they figured that most people are the type of law, they don't have anything to it, so they can't make it on much, so they won't have them. And they may land us out like that now, because they wouldn't take it, they wouldn't be more effective. Every financial report you get, black. And the reason there's a question the first page is where the interest rate that client, and they just cut back on the available funds for business and side of features. And then after that happens, then the stock market goes into a rally. And in this rally, it keeps going up and up and up. And then it breaks. And after that breaks, everything's flat. So if you're in the middle of the flood, that's the third phase, and that third phase is England. And the first part of it is very like for example, food stock. And if you're it's stock cut. We're starting with about $50,000 or something for 6 days later, that stock that's what they say is facing the country yet. And so that is every report you get says it. And because what's dismal about it is, financial advisors and like everybody else has had to believe in this stuff. Brings it along. So we encourage it, So then they write it and they get depressed. So this is because they got fighting, you realize, well, hope they're in there. No, their only advice is buy low and sell high. But she is exercise and roller to my good health. Fought it off, so that's I didn't have it half as bad as a lot of people. After I went out, everybody else in the department went out at once practically. And my boss only almost had pneumonia. He has a certain respiratory reason anyway. He's been undergoing text for a cough going on for almost 2 years now. And it's cough. You want to help him bring it up, But there's nothing to bring up. You can do the whole mill. Let's do this whole complete checkup at the and they put him in the hospital and they ran fiber optics down his side or his lungs. He had every conceivable kind of allergy test and everything with the road, and there's nothing that they can do that's wrong with him. And yet there it is. It's cost like crazy. 35 to life, and that's worse. And a couple of guys came in after they got hit about they never came to the recovered and come back in. And this guy, how do you feel? And I said, well, absolutely. If I come down with better than me, then I'll come back to work. What? Yeah. Well, I came in the first day, I was out Sunday, and I went into half a day thing. I had nothing to do. But I was feeling, not so sure of myself, but I didn't know I wasn't sure I was malingering, It's not as out there sometimes. I said, well, I'm malingering, so I don't know. I felt better. I didn't get one day and rest for that. I'm not going to use that. And I think it is. Yeah. I worked around there, a small car. Everything else, that's what it is in my family. That's what I'm saying, that's what it is. So that's my thing, and I can operate it like they do. It's written, and I didn't see the picture. So that's what it is. So when you're something else, that's when you're here, and that's the thing. You live in that time. So that's it. Look at God, look at God. When I was at least, I found that the first year, I had to MIT, and I had to walk about 3 blocks from the I found that kind of wrong. I find that wild for 3 years. And then I had trouble with the fence because I hadn't been in time before I guess. Now you when I got this one paper that's good. Got a lot of Johnson, I guess, or I don't know, the motivation is very high, and it's a wonderful day. And we take a very good sense of responsibility for the customers. Soon as we got to school, Mr. Taker out here, we set a rule that you don't go to the physical in 15 minutes, you just want to go to the students like this, but you can believe that it's getting tired. I was home we had a cold snap about 2 weeks ago, and it was really cold, and it was very light. We woke up one morning and come find out it was about 17 below. We didn't realize it. And this is the morning that we go out and deliver papers. He went out. He didn't wear a hat. He didn't wear a thermal underwear. But his gloves were the mittens. And he came back and he was mad. He sat down on the floor by the window and he was crying and doubled up. And so, I'm not supposed to be able to do that anyway. Rubbed it on, got the circulation on again, and he had a good night's sleep the night before when he was in the bed right away. And he slept till noon when I called, and he fixed him home from school and woke him up, and he probably slept for the whole day. And he kept in frostbite, but he was on a full bicycle. And it was moving the wind for 17 below, and he kept going or something else. And he said, no frost right now.
But what was the other?
He's too careful about his customers. He's getting a lot of good experiences. He reflects. Sometimes he's got a lot of them and reflect about it. He's one house and a woman. But they quit because they thought he was cheating. And I think it's very cool.
Both things pick it up. So it took 4 times. That was you got a track so you can get 2 times. Recording out of this and recording out of that. Well, I got 2 channels. I can turn one channel off and then two. I can get you and I to talk. I turn that off.
Anyhow, so he was in bed there by any house, and the nurse comes in, she brings him his specimen, and his sleep. And so here was scrambled eggs, toast, and prune. So anyhow, he jumped in bed with the scrambled eggs. And he ate the prunes. And then he ate the prunes. Then as she was coming, he didn't like the oranges, so he poured them just the fruit. And so as she comes in, she sees everything gone. So she takes the test. She says, your specimen is a little cloudy this morning. And he says, let me see it. So he looks up, he breaks it. And she down there,
You need $100 to buy
About 3,000 miles to the hour. Yeah, that's right. But you, if you went up there on that moon trip, you'd have made 17,000 miles in a little bit.
And I went out to Caroline's and looked at it. The level was 1720, just like this.
Oh, no.
With 349, 54.
I was just about doing it, too.
We know.
I bought it from a kid trying to put dicks.
Almost, huh?
He paid $300.
About the same time out.
There's something wrong
I got necklaces.
Never been able to tell, you know, with the,
One day,
one that got so far here, that they're getting so here, I glance wouldn't be able to tell. She's a favorite.
No, but I just got through eating a $20 dinner. Yeah. And then Joe there, he could only eat half of it. So he gave the other half to me, see? And I thought Ray was going to do the same thing, only I don't like prime rib, it's too fat. I never tested, so Bill came home from Germany. He got to looking at it, which is beautiful. And, but we've never even, I don't think we've made it. Bill's got it, he uses it. Bill has two, he's got a Grundy. And he uses that in his setup in his stereo.
That was Marion Island that said that.
He uses his portable.
I see if it's before.
Marion, West Island came, and Monty and Stanley Eviltalk are here too.
Was that why you mentioned some names as you came in?
Yeah,
Honey, did you hear that?
No.
That teach's been going on since
Well, he just started it.
I don't think so.
I saw him reach over.
I turned it on when you came in because I figured it might be something interesting for you.
Did you get the story about Mike Douglas?
Oh, yeah.
That was that guy I was trying to think of the other night when we were asking about different things. It's the Mike Douglas show.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when they had it talking about making out of the cardboard boxes that thing. And the guy wanted to be straight up and down. He put a square on there after one of the rain.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be back.
It's like a Swedish deal in here, isn't it? Isn't that Swedish embroidered a little bit? They like that. Yeah. That book's been nice. It's pretty. It's pretty. I like it anyway. One thing I'm sure we're going to have before that thing whenever Christmas, New Year's with everybody.
Yeah.
And you know, like I told Ted, I said, well, I said, the kids growing up, I said, all of them over there. I said, it might be a little lesson to them, too. But I was, well, it'd be terrible now, like Ralph said, mother went that way, but she was if she would have came to, and she could have recognized any of it, say, that would have been worth all this doing. But being like Ralph says, she's gone. The only thing is the machine's keeping there. She couldn't come through because the brain was damaged. She wouldn't recognize anybody, so it's nice that they didn't have to suffer. Now, the only other way I'd say, if they went like my dad, it's easier on everybody, because you just don't really That's why I say this, if I could beat Brad at this point, that's the way all my friends would go with the heart. But Ellis Way wasn't much, it gave a lot of heartaches there because you always expect the Lord might be good to you and just bring it back for a while. But it's just something there. And life is just that way, you know, that we can't go on forever. And I don't know, doggone, you know, have you ever had an operation? Yeah.
I think that's all.
Oh my God, I have never, because I wouldn't let them do any operating on me.
Why not?
Because they always told me I died after an operation. And I should have done
That reminds me of that cartoon in the paper a couple days ago where don't open the pie anymore.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
have any more blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of you because you were telling us the other day where you wouldn't dare go to the doctor.
That's right.
What was the connection there?
I don't know. But I don't know. When they find something wrong with me, it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
That's the way it was, but Louis Perot was good.
Yeah,
It's just too late.
sure, but Louis lived a good year.
Oh, it was Louis.
Louis had been in the hospital, and you know, he was in there for 2 operations on his eye. So he was near the doctor enough, you know, he should have told him about it. I don't know what I know that he must have been having trouble with his stomach for a long time, because sometimes he wasn't even able to do it.
Oh, yeah, he was real careful with the eggs. Meeting also. Putting down.
Wasn't until it was perforated that he went to the hospital.
But see, now, Louis lived. See, he did what he wanted to do. He went to the old country 3 or 4 times. Willie used his money and brought his dad over and his brother and that stuff, and he enjoyed himself when he was here. Now, he lived. If he took it all with him, by gosh, it'd be all right, you know. But I mean, he just said, by gosh, it wasn't for the hereafter, it was for now. And that's it. But I mean, gosh, if a person saves and stuff too, he should enjoy his money or his times. Let the others enjoy theirs when they make it.
I think that's why we'll miss him so much too, is because he was this type of person. He was always glad and anxious to see him, because he was exciting to have around. You know,
He was one time years ago, 1946, and here we, all of us ended up here at the man's club, or one of those clubs, but it was on the right-hand side of the road. We had right. Louis went ahead and played the ticket, won $300. The whole long trip was on Louis. He didn't say how many thousands of dollars he played there without winning, but he always did so. He was pretty lucky on that part.
Never been lucky, but he would go down every Friday night and play just so much, and then that would be it.
Yeah.
And he won. He won several different ways. I remember one time he won $3,000.
Yeah.
He used it to put out a well over there on his.
Look at that other time he won that $2,300. And what did he do? His tractors, they just needed some work in the yard to be in A1 shape. That was too much fun. He went down by guys and bought a new tractor, new disc. See? Oh yeah.
yeah, Louis was a real good old guy.
Louis was one of the few people that I know who never asked for anything from anybody but his own dream.
Oh,
That's about
There
it.
wasn't anybody at that table who tried to do something for him.
Helped him out.
And he always remembered us girls at Christmas time, just like we were his nieces or even maybe daughters, you know.
Well, that's right. He saw you kids grow up.
And then after Sharon got married and we had Ronnie and Michael, he even thought enough of them to, you know, give them a little something at Christmas too. And he didn't even have to.
No, he never had to do anything.
That's what he was like.
yeah.
And after, they just broke his heart over there. He had brought his brother and his family out here, and Mary had brought Angie and her husband and family out here, and Louis had actually been supporting them in the sale here. They did adopt him. They paid him a tiny amount for rent, and we didn't have to pay the tax.
They didn't charge him anything.
Oh, no. Paying for everything.
What?
But they should have paid him. Instead of that, they treated him like he was their servant, and ordered this and ordered
That's
that,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they kept asking him to make a will, you see. And at first he was going to make a will and leave half the duplex to each one of them, like we do over there in the old. Then they talked him out of that, and I guess he decided to leave it all to Joe and Mary, because Joe was his brother, and after all, Angie and Walter were no relation to him at all. And
Angie and Walter did their sponging on him all these years anyhow. But you know, they were so angry as if they had it coming.
Yeah.
And then Angie and Walter were fighting with Mary and Joe so that they didn't even speak to each other. And of course they hated Louis. He came over here, this was the Sunday before he died. He was really sick and he came over to see Ted and he sat there and told him when he was just sick he felt bad about it. So he wished he would never welcome on her at all.
We've got another friend the same way. That they had that, gosh, when one part of the couple died, the children were all in there by gosh, because the will was left in case both happened to the children. And those children were fussing and fussing and fussing. And she said afterwards, she said, I wish that we didn't have a dime. She said, all it is caused my kids, she says, to be enemies with each other. And that's it.
You tried to take care of them all these years and all you had done was to make them hate them and themselves.
And so that's what I say, my gosh, and that's what I told Joel Lorraine here quite a while back. I said, well, I said, I'll tell you this. I said, if I was to the point, I said, where I could enjoy, I said, get around. I says, if I could visualize that I only had 3 more years to go, when that 3 years is up, there wouldn't be a nickel in my pocket. We would be used it up, say.
In the first place, Joe
But you never know.
And Walter and Angie had been decent, honorable people. They would have supported themselves all those years. They wouldn't have been sponging on people. Now they're going to have to anyway. They're older. I don't know how to do it.
Well, you know, Vanilla, when Mary and I were down there, Mary didn't know who Paul was. And so then again, there and I said, Mary, I said, there's only one Paul. And I said, that's Louis Munson. No. But that's it. You know, when you're as close as we were for all those years, it was that way. And so then Ella would tell us things. So you know, I went over there and put that notice down. We sat and talked for 2.5 hours. And she says, Russ, she says, I never forget the time, the heartaches, and the troubles and the hardships we had, Paul and I. She says, that was the only thing. But she says, I had more fun. She says, in the short time with Pop. She says, than I ever, she says, I think I've lived a real good full life. And I says, you sure did, Ellen.
She lived another after he died, too.
Huh?
She lived another full life after he died.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was actually about it there. But she says, just that with Louis, by gosh, that was the scrimping and the hardship. And after that, she had her day. But she told me, she said, I had 100 fights with that guy. She says, oh.
Hey, well, they were both very strong-willed people.
Yeah. And she says, it got to the point, she says, so instead of me arguing, she said, I would just get out. She's completely. And when I came back, she says, and he says, he wanted to go for a drive. And she says he would drive and he would stand there wreck us. And she says, then when it come along, she'd tell him about it. And he said, then you drive. And he would get out of the car by God. And she'd go, all right, I'll drive you.
That's what I get for it.
And so we had some good laughs and stuff on it there.
But you know, she had a lot of fun. She had money.
That's right.
They were both old enough so that they didn't have any real responsibilities, but they had enough money so they could go places and do things. And they still felt good enough so they could go to dances, you know.
Driving all the way up to Twin Falls, Idaho for one dance.
Yeah.
Leaving here and just driving like hell up there.
And she said that was so much fun.
Yeah.
They were tired, but they danced all night.
Yeah, they did it all.
Yeah. And she says, Russ, she says, I'll never forget. She says, I haven't told you this story, but she says, you know, she says, I was the queen of the moose lot. And she said, they give me this plaque over there, and she said, I didn't know just what it was. But she says, you know, I couldn't talk for a bit. And she says, naturally, she said, I talk. But it was a thing about it there, and she says, I think she says that I have lived a good life. And I wondered why the devil that she was talking like that, you know. And she was sick then, see? And I said, I says, now, I said, by gosh, I hope that doggone machine works.
How long ago was this?
Just 4 days before she passed away.
No, 4 days before she went to the hospital.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think it was on a Monday or Tuesday, right? And they shut the hospital on Wednesday night or Thursday morning.
No, I went on a Saturday, I think, honey, and said you
That's
worked
right.
about it.
No, but we went to see her on the Tuesday before.
Yeah, before that.
And you went Saturday and then the following week. So it had to
Tuesday
be
she
more
went
than,
in the hospital.
yeah. No, Wednesday night.
Well,
I was glad to stay with her.
Oh, no, it was Tuesday night.
Tuesday night?
Thursday.
On the night of the 26th, she said.
Well, that
Well, I don't matter.
yeah.
She
That
was
damn
here,
thing's still
she
running?
here Sunday night. She ran
Yeah.
home. She
you ought to hear mine.
a week ago. She was getting time. Gotta stay with her.
And I got a $700 day. But it's the voice of music, but it's not a portable. It's like got the 7-inch deck and everything, and then I got the amplifier speaker and all that stuff to go with it.
Last night she was flushed. Well, things I got some time.
But you don't think when a person is got a cold night getting out, and there, and see, I left her that brace over there, and she says that was before, and she said, she said, I don't think I would have made it. She says, over the certain day there, before, but she says I was there, and she says I just made it in there, and she says I sat down, and she says I had a drink, and she says after a little bit, she says I settled down, and she says I went back to bed and I slept. And then, that's right. But Mary has trouble. She has hot and cold and ice cold sometimes. I guess when he's coming up to you up there at the hospital, and I was changing my t-shirt and everything, and she put her hands on me, and I'll tell you, they were just like icicles.
Yeah,
And I said, my God, honey. And she wouldn't go to bed so I could warm her up and go. Is that on the tape?